A CEO can improve perceptual acuity by meeting with and listening to others and seeking out information. Spotting key trends. Spotting key trends requires a combination of which of the following? Knowing one's business, keeping an eye on what's happening, understanding one's customers. The SWOT framework is popular with managers for several reasons, including which of the following? It forces managers to consider both the internal and external factors simultaneously. The something environment. The general environment is composed of segments external to an industry that are usually beyond a firm's control, such as demographics and economic factors that can affect a firm's strategy. Which of the following elements of the general environment is the easiest to understand and quantify? I don't know. Marga starts a ride-sharing business in a city with few parking garages. Environmental scanning involves surveillance of a firm's external environment to predict environmental changes and detect changes already underway. Technique for analyzing a basic list of internal and external conditions is called. Which of the following are included in 6 segments of the general environment? I don't know. Demographic and sociocultural, economic and global, political, legal, and technological. Seeking out information. I don't understand why they don't let people get into the competition even after the registration closed. It doesn't make any sense. I literally registered way before the registration closed. The waiting list should be effective and after the waiting list closed. It doesn't make any sense. People cancel in between the registration close date and the competition, so it doesn't make any sense. Which of the following elements of the general environment is the easiest? That was funny. Nope, it's technological. What? Customers, competitors, and suppliers. The five forces are the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of suppliers, the intensity of rivalry among competitors in an industry, and the threat of substitute products and services. I have no idea. I don't know what the caveats are. They are managers should not always avoid low profit industries. The five forces model is essentially a static analysis. Porter's model assumes a zero sum game, meaning there's a winner and loser. Firms use big data to better customize their offerings to customers. Whoops. Which one did I miss? What? Oh. No two firms are exactly the same. No two firms are totally different. Strategic groups are clusters of firms that share similar strategies. I have no idea. I don't know. Zero sum game nation. So I don't remember. Statements about the competitive environment are correct. It only took me 10 minutes to do the assignment. Now watch a video. I don't know why it says it's 200 points. It doesn't make any sense. Did the professor do that on purpose? To make it easier? To pass the class? Because if so, man, this class is going to be way too easy if that's the case. Like, even if I fail a ton of these assignments, it's still going to be pretty much free to pass this class with all these 200 points for the reading assignments. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the professor's not going to keep it like that because that would make it way, way too easy to pass this class. Okay, it looks like we gotta watch a video. I don't know how long it is. And also, it might give me a quiz after I watch it. I don't really know. I think I've had something like this before where I have to watch a video and then answer questions. In human resource management, actually. Video usually is only a few minutes long. So, it's 3 questions, huh? And it's multiple choice. Well, guess what? I'm not even going to watch it. Fine, I'll watch. I don't know. It's a waste of time if I can just blow right through this assignment without watching it. Which statement about the purpose of Pastel is correct? Let's go with this one. Nice. Pastel stands I feel like substitutes is it. I don't know, maybe suppliers is one of them. Oh, never mind, it's this one. Political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, environmental, and legal. I remember that from human resource. I was like, man, look at all these words. I love memorizing a list of words. That doesn't help me at all. Multiple choice. One important factor to consider is I literally got 100% on this without even watching the video. That was so easy. Wow. It took me like 1 minute. No, like 3 minutes, but still 3 minutes to do that assignment. Oh my gosh, I had no idea it was going to take me 13 minutes to get this far. I could even do the other assignment now. I could literally do the writing assignment. Like, the writing assignment will maybe only take 1 or 2 hours for me to do. Wow, I can't believe this. This class is so easy. Like, so far, but I think it's just a slow start. That's what it is. It's a slow, easy start and then it gets harder because the next week we have a much harder writing assignment to do. But at the same time, it's only one assignment, and you have a whole week to do it. So, man, can't believe how easy this is so far. Like, I think it's just easy because it's the start of the semester, but it's going to get harder. Well, I do appreciate the nice, easy start to the class, so I don't get overwhelmed, but it's almost too good to be true. Like, I was prepared for this to be the hardest class I would ever take. Like, the advisor told me this was going to be just a beast of a class. So yeah, we have a writing assignment. Man, it would be so nice if I could just get it over with today. Maybe I'll at least start on it, I have a little bit more time here. Hold on a sec. I'm just gonna make sure. Actually, perfect way to do this. It's just gonna go to the bathroom. That's funny. My goodness, dude. Like, why is this? How is this so easy? Like, the writing assignment's not gonna be the easiest thing ever, but it doesn't look too bad. It's literally just using my own experiences to write a paper. That's it. I don't have to do any research. If only I could have gotten into that human competition. There's literally 2 people canceled their registration. In between the close date and the competition, the day of the competition, in between the the registration close day and the day of the competition, 2 people canceled their registration. So there's 2 spots open, but I can't compete because it's too soon. It's too close to the competition for them to make the adjustment. I mean, how difficult can it possibly be? Like, all they have to I don't know. Like, how complicated is it to set up a competition and like to on the fly or to just make an adjustment where you add one more competitor? Like, can't you just add, like, I don't know, just add me to random heats? I don't even know. Just randomly choose a heat that I join, or put me in a heat that has the least amount of people, and just look and see where you need judges the most, and assign me to those. Like, how complicated can it possibly be? I don't know. I mean, if it's really that complicated to add another person in the day before the competition, if it's really that much work, like, how many minutes does it take? 15 minutes to rearrange it so that I can get into the competition? Like, how many late registrations do you even get? Or late cancellations? Like 3 or 4 total. Like, they literally only have 2 cancellations this whole time. 2. How freaking hard can it possibly be to add 2 people to the competition? You removed 2 people. I mean, how much work does it take to remove 2 people compared to adding 2 people? There's got to be some kind of setup in the fast spot. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's right. Joe did get it yesterday. I saw him get it, and then for some reason he missed the second warp, which was a bummer. Like, he shouldn't have missed the second one. The second one's free. I think he just jumped in the wrong spot. I think, well, Joe was like 1 for 4 on that splash. 1 for 4. They're calling it a splash, but technically you're not getting a splash. We should call it a splash warp, meaning that you didn't get the splash and the splash was in a different location. But anyways, who cares? Right. Examples of the 4 attributes of strategic management. Use your own words to describe what is meant by each of the 4 key attributes. For each attribute, use an example drawn from your experiences in companies where you have worked or companies with which you are familiar. You do not need to use the same company for each attribute. So this looks pretty easy. Like I basically just to read the 4 attributes from the textbook, describe them in my own words, and then come up with an example from my past experience that applies to it. So that's not too bad in theory. It's just going to be kind of tedious. So I guess we can get started on this. We can at least read the definitions or the descriptions of the attributes. That's not so hard to do. Reading is easy. Reading is easy. Writing is hard. So I did this video thingy, right? Let me just double check. Why didn't it give me a grade for the video? I did the video. Hello. Hold on a second. Nope, yeah, it gave me a grade, so I don't know why it doesn't show it there. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. That's funny. I'm glad all this stuff is here right away. There's not very much stuff here, weirdly. It's only 12 chapters? That is very manageable. There's only 12 chapters in this whole class. The hard part of this class isn't the reading material itself, it's the papers that you have to write. That's the hard part of it. That's funny. So let's go to, I'm assuming this is chapter 2, right? Is this chapter 2? Let's see here. Wait a minute. It could be chapter 1 still. Oh, you know what? It looks like this is actually from chapter 1. The 4 attributes of strategic management. Looks like it's from chapter 1. So, anyways. Kind of nice that they made that one due like a week after reading chapter 1. Gave you a whole week. I wish all classes were designed like that. It's not like I take advantage of it, but still. Well, I took advantage of it by simply procrastinating for a whole week on the assignment. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see if there's a heading of this. Well, that was easy. I found the section I have to read. That's all I have to read is this. It's kind of long. But how many pages is it? It's like 7, 8, 9. It's like 2 pages because I don't know if I really have to read this part. So. Man, sucks I can't get into that competition. Even though there's 2 people who canceled. That sucks. That sucks, dude. There is a spot open for me in the competition, and yet I can't get in. And it's 15 minutes away. Man, I hope they find a consistent way to do the splash thing. being bad at warp skip. Dude, 12 hours of streaming, a grand total of 3 successful splashes. That is really bad. Wow. Oh my gosh. That is a really bad success rate. I mean, if you can get to the splash like more often, it's fine. But the problem is, it's extremely hard to get to that splash, and then the splash itself is such a low success rate. Now, maybe we should just go for a safer splash because it's going to be a guaranteed record anyways. But maybe I can find a good setup for splash. I actually one time I got a body slam through a plane like a bunch of times in a row, just repeatedly over and over, getting it over and over, which is the same exact thing as this. And I had a certain way of doing it, and I just got in a groove. That was funny. And just did it over and over and over again. And then I lost it after that. But if I could somehow replicate that, what happened there. But anyways, it's basically completely different depending on the location that you're in. You just have to try a bunch of different ways of doing it until you find the one that works, I think. Because, like, I don't know. Is it really possible that there's not a single consistent way to do it? Because there are certain locations where it's easier and to set it up. And if it's easier to, if it's possible to have a setup for splash in those locations, then it should be theoretically possible in that location too. Anyways, the 4 key attributes of strategic management. Before discussing the strategic management process, let's briefly talk about 4 attributes of strategic management. It should become clear how this course differs from other courses that you have had in functional areas, such as accounting, marketing, operations, and finance. Exhibit 1 provides a definition and the 4 attributes of strategic management. What is the definition of strategic management? Strategic management consists of the analyses, decisions, and actions an organization undertakes in order to create and sustain competitive advantages. Oh, geez. It's really funny how Joester and Dio Chomp were both going for world record the whole time. And I understand if you give it enough time, you're going to get it eventually. But don't you just want to get the record first without, like, or don't you just want to, like, finish a run or even just beat the record by, like, a small amount, like 20 seconds or something, instead of a whole minute and a half? Because they were both doing all the risky strats possible to get the fastest possible time. When in reality, why don't you just try to beat my record? take it slow and safe, and try to beat my record first, like one step at a time. Neither of them was able to beat my record because they couldn't finish a run. They were doing way too risky strats and resetting way too often. Like, the problem is, first of all, they were resetting whenever they had a bad start to the run. But a bad start to your run is only going to lose at most 20 or 30 seconds, which is way less time than you're going to save by completing the run itself. And secondly, they were doing that splash thing right outside the entrance, which is a much more inconsistent way to do it. They should have just gone for the splash, the easier splash setup, which would cost them another maybe 20 or 30 seconds, but it would be a guaranteed success. And if they just did that over and over again until they had a decent rest of the run, they could finish like 5 or 6 runs instead of none. And one of those 5 or 6 runs would be record. That was funny. The definition of strategic management. Strategic management consists of the analyses, decisions, and actions an organization undertakes in order to create and sustain competitive advantages. The 4 key attributes of strategic management. Strategic management directs the organization towards overall goals and objectives. Includes multiple stakeholders in decision-making, needs to incorporate short-term and long-term perspectives, and recognizes trade-offs between efficiency and effectiveness. Strategic management directs the organization toward overall goals and objectives. Includes multiple stakeholders in decision-making. Needs to incorporate short-term and long-term perspectives. Recognizes trade-offs between efficiency and effectiveness. First, strategic management is directed toward overall organizational goals and objectives. Nobody's so efficiently reading this section. Strategic management is directed toward overall organizational goals and objectives. That is, effort must be directed at what is best for the total organization, not just a single functional area. Some authors have referred to this perspective as organizational versus individual rationality. That is, what might look rational or ideal for one functional area, such as operations, may not be in the best interest of the overall firm. For example, operations may decide to schedule long production runs of similar products to lower unit costs. However, the standardized output may be counter to what the marketing department needs to appeal to a demanding target market. Similarly, research and development may over-engineer the product to develop a far superior offering, but the design may make the product so expensive that market demand is minimal. As noted by David Novak, former CEO of Yum Brands, I tell people that once you get a job, you should act like you run the place. Not in terms of ego, but in terms of how you think about the business. Don't just think about your piece of the business. Think about your piece of the business and the total business. This way, you'll always have a broader perspective. Second, Strategic management includes multiple stakeholders in decision making. Stakeholders are those individuals groups and organizations that have a stake in the success of the organization, including owners, shareholders in a publicly held corporation, employees, customers, suppliers, the community at large, and so on. We'll discuss this in more detail. Managers will not be successful if they focus on a single stakeholder. For example, if the overwhelming emphasis is on generating profits for the owners, employees may become alienated, customer service may suffer, and the suppliers may resent demands for pricing concessions. Third, strategic management requires incorporating both short-term and long-term perspectives. Peter Senge, a leading strategic management author, has referred to this need as a creative tension. That is, managers must maintain both a vision for the future of the organization and a focus on its present operating needs. However, financial markets can exert significant pressures on executives to meet short-term performance targets. Studies have shown that corporate leaders often take a short-term approach to the detriment of creating long-term shareholder value. Andrew Winston addresses this issue in his recent book, The Big Pivot. Consider the following scenario. You are close to the end of the quarter, and you are faced with a project that you are certain will make money. That is, it has a guaranteed positive net present value, but it will reduce your earnings for this quarter. Do you invest? A research study posed this question to 400 CFOs, and a majority said they would not do it. Further, 80% of the executives would decrease R&D spending, advertising, and general maintenance. So what occurs when you cut back on these investments to prop up short-term earnings every quarter? Logically, you don't invest in projects with favorable paybacks, and you underspend on initiatives that build longer-term value. Thus, your earnings targets in the future quarters actually get more difficult to hit. Fourth, strategic management involves the recognition of trade-offs between effectiveness and efficiency. Technically, I might end up with the bad grade. Let's see what he gives me on that quiz. There's no way I'm getting 100% on that quiz. Some authors have referred to this as the difference between doing the right thing and doing things right. Oh my gosh, that's... what? Doing things right. Well, managers must allocate and use resources wisely. They must still direct their efforts toward the attainment of overall organizational objectives. As noted by Meg Whitman, Hewlett-Packard's former CEO, less than perfect strategy execution against the right strategy will probably work. 100% execution against the wrong strategy won't. Successful managers must make many trade-offs is central to the practice of strategic management. At times, managers must focus on the short term and efficiency. At other times, the emphasis is on the long term and expanding a firm's product market scope in order to anticipate opportunities in the competitive environment. To summarize, leaders typically face many difficult and challenging decisions. In a recent article in the Harvard Business Review, Wendy Smith and her colleagues provide some valuable insights in addressing such situations. The author team studied corporations over many years and found that senior executives are often faced with similar sets of opposing goals, which can polarize their organizations. Such tensions or paradoxes fall into three categories, which may be related to three questions that many leaders view as either or choices. Do we manage for today or tomorrow? A firm's long-term survival requires taking risks and learning from failure in the pursuit of new products and services. However, companies also need consistency in their products and services. This depicts the tension between existing products and new ones. Stability and change. This is the innovation paradox. For example, in the late 1990s, IBM's senior leaders saw the internet wave and felt the need to harness the new technology. However, the firm also needed to sustain its traditional strength in client-server markets. Each strategy required different structures, cultures, rewards, and metrics, which could not easily be executed in tandem. Do we stick to boundaries or cross them? Global supply chains can be very effective, but they may also lack flexibility. New ideas can emerge from innovation activities that are dispersed throughout the world. However, not having all the talent and brains in one location can be costly. This is the tension between global connectedness and local needs. The globalization paradox. In 2009, NASA's Director of Human Health and Performance started an initiative geared toward generating new knowledge through collaborative cross-firm and cross-disciplinary work. Not too surprisingly, he faced strong pushback from scientists interested in protecting their turf and their identities as independent experts. Although both collaboration and independent work were required to generate new innovations, they posed organizational and cultural challenges. Whom do we focus on, shareholders or stakeholders? Clearly, companies exist to create value, but managers are often faced with the choice between maximizing They take time and are alert to opportunities beyond the confines of their own jobs. A large computer company's sales manager became aware Alright. Well, hopefully it'll only take maybe 1 or 2 hours to write that paper tomorrow. And then I can spend the rest of the day working on Crash with Sandy. And also, that was funny.